All right, good morning, traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar here at Bookmap. We'll be going through the live order flow using Bookmap and with the goal here of understanding market sentiment from the players participating in the market. And how can we do that? Well, the order flow will show it. This is the closest way that we can understand that sentiment because the only way that they can participate is via their orders. So if they're using orders, then we can track it with the order flow. And that's the edge. And that's what we're looking for. No matter what kind of strategy that you're trading, it really doesn't matter. If the order flow supports your strategy, then you've got an edge. All right, so let's go through some details here, and then we'll jump into the live market. We're continuing our trade control panel challenge here for the blue jacket competition. If you're interested, you can use your phone and take a screenshot here with the QR code. You can win Bookmap Global Plus free for 3 months with excellent content from showing your trades in Bookmap. You also will get 3 months of data included. And to participate in this is very simple. Just mark up your charts, show your trade example, show your analysis with markups, take a screenshot, post it on Instagram, LinkedIn, or X with the hashtag #FreeBlueJacket, and you'll be entered. As simple as that. Okay, so you can also win the blue jacket hoodie here. All right, so last night or market close, we had our Academy meeting, Bookmap Academy. I'll show you where you can participate in this. There's no cost to it, but this is the building out our playbook. This is the kind of higher level overview of what we look for. First, the impetus of what's moving the market. Usually this is a news story. It could be geopolitical, it could be events or economic events, or it could be big technical levels and reactions to it. Whatever it is, we want to understand this. We want to go with the bigger move here and understand the market sentiment behind it. Then we look at our key levels on our higher time frames. Then finally, we get down into the scenarios and strategies. Now, this is an important area here, or item to cover, because let's go through an example. Your impetus, well, maybe it's mixed. Right now, you don't really know. I mean, that's the environment that I'm seeing right now. We had some economic data today. It wasn't good for the GDP. And then we'll mark up our key levels. And then when we come up to our key levels, we're going to go through some scenarios. Okay, so how bullish are you? What kind of reaction are you looking for at your key levels? And when you start to see that, then you start to develop your strategies. So if you start to see in the order flow, for example, that there's a lot of liquidity up there, we trade into it, we don't trade through it, and then you see maybe the lower liquidity at lower levels on the offer, meaning that the sellers are kind of chasing after it. Well, then you're looking for a strategy potentially, or a setup to match the strategy of trading it back into the range, okay, back into the most traded levels where it's a fair value basically in the auction. So that scenario, that strategy finally gets down to your setup. So depends on the time frame as well. Is it going to be reversal? Is it going to be a small time frame and just a move back in, etc.? So you choose the right setup that goes along with these other elements here, and you really will filter out a lot for the day. And this will allow you a higher probability outcome. Your setup that you choose, you should already know it. You should know it like the back of your hand. You'll grade the setup on the elements in the setup. You'll determine the risk and sizing, and you'll execute via the order flow that you see unfolding. All right, that's the process. That's what we're going to go through as well. That is the Bookmap Academy. Now, a subset of that Bookmap Academy is Bruce's pilot program here. It's a subset because we're going to focus, or what we focus on here is building a trading edge. So if you don't have an edge, you don't know how to build an edge, that's what this program is designed to change. We have a structured process that we go through and provide the materials for you. There's no cost to it. You will need to have Bookmap Global or Global Plus in order to participate. This is the biggest gap I've seen between traders. That after talking to so many of them over the years, they can understand the setups, they can trade the setups, etc. But they don't know if they have an edge with the setup. And that's crazy. You shouldn't be trading unless you know you have an edge, a statistical edge. We will go through the process and build that out for you. So if you're interested in signing up for that, it's pretty simple. Just go to bookmap.com. Click on the More button here. You'll see the Bookmap Academy here. You can sign up there. And then Bruce's pilot program is here. And then you can just scroll down and you can sign up right here. Okay, like I said, there's no cost. It's included with your Global Plus subscription. All right, let's jump in. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, we'll jump in. We're looking at the S&P E-mini here. I've got crude oil up here as well. That's been moving. Due to the geopolitical tensions out there. We can take a look at this in more detail if we want as well. Okay, I'm going to filter this heat map a little bit there. Okay, all right. If anyone has any questions on that, or if you want to look at something else as well. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's see here. Make sure that I cover your questions right off the bat here. Okay, great. Good morning. Good morning, Laura, Dan, Aloise, Mr. Smiles, Robert, and new guy, Black Swan Lake, Mitch. Okay. Okay, and let me go check on the pilot program too. I asked in there if there was anything that you guys want me to cover. See, Noah had reached out and just says he wants to understand the liquidity and absorption a bit better. Well, that's a huge part of Bookmap, it offers, one of the key features that offers tremendous value in here. The heat map here. Okay, so it is simply derived from the order book, the limit order book, which you can see here, the current order book. And you see like here, 111, 112 contracts, up here 84, right? This is liquidity. These are limit sell orders. Now see the aggressive buyers coming in, okay? They're going to go for where the sellers are, right? So that's what we're looking for. Is understanding this context between the two. The aggressive buyers here are the green dots. Okay, the aggressive sellers are the red dots. These are market buy orders. These are market sell orders. In the heat map, we just saw that 111 contracts over here, right? Let's go back, 112. Okay, that's from your order book or your depth of market, your dome, your level 2, whatever you want to call it. This is where there are sellers up here with limit orders. They want to sell at this price level. And that's it. That's nothing. It's nothing more than that. All we do in Bookmap is take that numerical value, paint it in a relative heat map here. The scale is over here in the on the slider. Red and orange, very high liquidity. Then yellow, white, blue, and then black is the least amount of liquidity. Okay? And so we can see it in here. Now, when this the order book changes, you'll see the heat map change and reflect the change. That's it. That's all it is. So all of this adding and pulling of liquidity or changes in the heat map is exactly the adding and pulling. Okay. All right. So great. Look at that. We traded up into, now we have a little bit more context in here to go through with you guys. The buyers wanted this liquidity. Okay. We came back up again and we got a retest up here. and look at the context in here. Okay, so this is how to use Bookmap and start to understand it at your level. We haven't gone through the levels yet. We haven't gone through our higher time frame analysis yet. Anyway, so we came up, we traded into it, we traded a little bit above it, we pulled back. Typically, every time we trade into high liquidity, you typically get some sort of reaction or a pullback. It usually does not go into it, right through it, and then continue on. Sometimes it does, kind of did over here, but then you can see it kind of pulled back in here, right? And the reason that it did that is because these are limit sell orders. These buyers met the sellers. They absorbed the buying pressure. So you usually get some sort of range or pullback after those transactions take place. Go back, take a look at your chart in Bookmap and verify that for yourself. This is just simple market mechanics. Okay, now look what happened in here. Okay, high liquidity came in underneath that 6909, those 112 contracts that we saw here. Okay, so this absorbed this buying pressure here. There was not enough buyers, or were not enough buyers to trade higher up into the 6912 or 6915. Okay, not yet. So we see the sellers come in, we see this back and forth in a range in here, and now we're starting to see sellers come in, break that range, and they are going to now shoot for high liquidity on the bid. Okay, here and then down here, okay, at 68.90. Right, so we probably traded it already. Yep. Okay. All right, now watch. There'll probably be some sort of pullback in here. Okay, you can see the range already starting to present here. Okay, and we're seeing some more selling pressure now. Okay, so going down to the next level at 85 here. Okay, a bit of a buying coming back in. Let's see if we come back down into this liquidity here. Okay, so now that's one thing I wanted to go through here, answering the question Noah had on understanding the heat map, what it is, and how to start to read it. Okay, now let's actually take off the heat map in here, and let's take a look at the let's actually take off the volume dots too. Okay, we'll leave the volume bars on. All right, and the reason being is we're just going to look at pure price action. Now in Bookmap, this is a great thing because there's no bar data here. We can add a candlestick chart here if you want. This is a daily, so let's go down to a, I don't know, let's go to a 5 minute. Okay, so every 5 minutes here, you're getting only 4 data points of open, high, low, and close. And you're trying to read and understand the price action in here. Okay, this is actually pretty nice price action right in here. See how we're starting to, we dip down to some of these swings in here. And then we start to see that some back and forth in here, but we're a little bit higher. We're making higher lows, but kind of equal highs. Then we start to break it. And then we see there was some data here at 10, and then we see the move up and then the move right back down to the structure. Okay, so what I want to outline in here is first off, take the candles off, and I just want to outline some structure. Okay, and we're going to start with the higher time frames. So we're going to zoom out here, and we're just going to look at market structure. Okay, so let me kind of equate this to if whatever structure you might be looking at, like it might be volume profile, for example. That's fine. That's great. You're going to be seeing pretty much the same things in terms of swings, but market structure is immensely important. Okay? It's showing where traders are willing to transact. When we start to break that structure and move away from it, that's where we really want to understand what's going on. Okay? Now, we can just very simply mark up the structure with some lines. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to zoom out a bit more. We can look at different time frames, etc. So like Here, let's continue to zoom out here. All right, so like yesterday, for example. So yeah, here's the 19th in here, and let's see. This is 7 a.m. On a minute here. Okay. So here's our 9:30 cash open, somewhere around in here. And these are the swings from yesterday, right? Yesterday, super choppy. So let's just mark that up. Okay, look where we just retested earlier today. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Understanding some of these levels and understanding how traders react at these levels is immensely important. Right, so now we can go look at maybe some of the other swings. Let's look at this one up here. This was back on the overnight, and we're just going to mark that one up too. Now we went up above it and we rejected up here and came back into the range. Okay, so this is the overnight high, as you guys can see up here, and I'm just going to mark that one up as well. And then let's continue to zoom in here, or actually let's zoom out and just get a few more levels in here. All right, so here's the big drop back on the 12th, and I am going to mark up the swing high up here, yeah, we've kind of already got that. It's already gone through those areas in here, and let's mark up. Yeah, you can see the swing high here. That's where we came back up and tested today after the data. Okay, right to it, right? So you can't make that kind of stuff up. And this is where we're looking for traders to react. Okay, so again, don't take my word for it. Go back and do the work. You'll see that these are important areas, and we want to understand the order flow around these important areas. Okay, that'll give us an edge. All right, so we marked up some key levels in here. And let's go in and we're going to mark up some other levels in here. They're not going to be as key or as important. All right, because there's been a lot of questions about this, about marking up your levels and what time frame. How do you know which ones are important, etc. Okay, so we just did the levels here. Okay, let's take a look now. We talked a little bit about the impetus moving the markets. Okay, we talked about some of the data, the releases, the geopolitical stuff that's happening in the world, and it's pretty all over the place. That geopolitical is definitely all over the place, I was interested to see the contraction from the GDP, and how are traders reacting to that? Well, we saw a sell-off from that earlier today, right? Okay, it was right here. It sold off, okay, but we're back up above it now. Okay, so meaning that this is what traders are going to be pretty keen on looking at inflation data and how the Fed may react to this data. So this move down maybe trapped a lot of people, and this move up is stopping a lot of people out. Okay, so anyway, so we went through our key levels, we went through some of our fundamentals, what's moving the market, and now we can start to get into some of the scenarios in here. Okay, so or let's look at some minor levels first, and then we'll go through some scenarios. Okay, so I don't really scenarios. Yeah, let me go over it in just a second, because I don't really have too much to go off of. But a key level, okay, on the lower time frame, it's down here, okay, and also here. Okay, so this is how I would mark it up, like this. And then I would also be looking at this one. You can see we dipped below it and we came back up. Right. So yeah, I've got my intraday levels, and that's good enough for me. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions on this. Just keeping it really simple. And now we can look at the order flow. Okay. So the first thing is we're going to turn on the volume dots. Okay, so we have market structure that we just marked up, and now we have the volume within that market structure. Okay, Now the beauty of this is it's like your footprint charts, except it's a lot more accurate than your footprint charts. Okay, because your footprint charts are still on a bar of aggregated data. It'll show precisely where the volume is transacting. But like, for example, in here, in your footprint chart, you're going to see it all aggregate all of this as buying in a few different price levels. And that's going to be like a high volume node here for footprint traders. So, you will see how footprint traders will react to this as a pullback in Bookmap. And you'll start to understand where these traders are positioning themselves. Okay, so now we have the volume context here together with the market structure. All right, and this can tell us a lot, in fact. Yeah, there's a kind of a trend line break accumulation down here, guys. It's lower time frame, of course. When we turn on the heat map, we'll take a look at this though. Because it's kind of nice. This is the minor. It's a minor swing. It's not a key level, but it's on a lower time frame. It's a level, and we dip below it and we come back up. So there's going to be some trap traders in here. Okay, so this is how we can start to get into the scenario building, right? And we can look at, for example, this diagonal line down here, and then also maybe the swing here. We see buyers come back up above it. We look for maybe this minor swing here or back up to our level here. Okay, and now we're starting to get into some of the scenarios in here of what we might be looking for. All right, let me turn on the heat map though. That's going to give us a lot more information. Okay, great. Actually, I'm going to right click in here and go to the heat map settings, and I'm going to filter for it here and use the upper and lower cutoffs to show less noise and cut out some of those orders. So it should be a little darker in here. Okay, great, we got it. Let's look at this little scenario down here. Now we got some interesting stuff happening up here as well. In fact, we can maybe quickly go through a couple scenarios here and let's see how they unfold, and we'll come back and look at this one here. Okay, so we're up at this level up here. Okay, this swing, and we have high liquidity here. Okay, we've traded up into that level. There's some absorption here, not much absorption here, not too much here either, but I don't see a lot of aggressive buyers as well, right? I want to see this relationship between the passive accumulation and aggressive accumulation. Okay, right now I don't see a whole lot of passive accumulation. It's trading up into these levels, but I see a lot of it kind of pulled. Some of it doesn't trade, but I am seeing aggressive accumulation here. Okay, so this is what we talk about in the Bookmap Academy meetings and pilot program as well. Understanding this context in here. So I see more sellers. Let's see if I'm looking for the sellers now to break this level here and trade maybe down to this level here. Okay. Let's see if they can do it. Now they just broke it, okay, and they just traded into some liquidity here. Okay, but I'm looking for more aggressive sellers here, and I want to see them trade down into this 95 area. And now that you can see, there's some other little swings in here, but I'm going to go with the kind of bigger one in here that had we didn't mark it up here earlier. It kind of just made itself here. Okay, we got a pullback already. Okay, and let's see if we get more sellers in here. Okay, we might get more buyers. We might get more buyers back up here. This was a level where maybe we get a reaction. Okay, actually we looked at this here just now, and I think talked about these footprint traders in here, right? So maybe we should have marked this one up and said like, this is where we're going to look for a reaction from some footprint traders. Okay, so you see how we're starting to go through these scenarios in here, and starting to understand the order flow at these areas. Okay, so it's important to go through and start to try to be objective about these things. Okay, so we had some liquidity in here. We come back down, we get the retest here, and we don't have the aggressive sellers. We got the buyers, and then I'm looking for maybe the sellers to come in again here. We don't. We get the buyers back up above, and we trade back up to high liquidity up here. Okay, now that's easy to explain in hindsight, right? But we look for the scenario here to outline the setup. If we don't see it, the scenario that we're looking for, we sit on our hands. We don't do anything. We're not going to press any buttons. Okay, now if you outline this secondary setup in here and it starts to unfold, well, then you've got your setup. You're prepared for it. Okay, so yeah, we're bouncing around up here or in the middle here. Okay, sellers come in again, back and selling again. I'm looking for the sellers again in here. Let's see if they can drop it here. And then we come back down again to this just recent swing down at 6,900. And we have some liquidity there as a target. All right, now guys, this is first off, let me know if there's any questions. Okay, so developing scenarios on these things, and I would be looking for taking some off there for sure, trailing your stop down. I do like this other setup here, or a level down here. Back, let's get rid of this, and let's mark it up. Okay. Okay. We identified our footprint traders probably in here with that high volume node. And looking for our sellers again. And interestingly enough, this is the level that we're looking at here. I don't see much liquidity there. Okay, they're down here at 68.90 instead. Okay, so we're bashing around right around 6,900 here. Okay, that level just breached there on a very quick move. We're back up above. So I actually still looking for lower here. Let's see if we can get down into the 68.90 here. That's a nice level here to spike down below too. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a nice level to spike down below this 94. But the liquidity's down here. Okay, it looks like we got buyers back up to a minor level here. I'm going to get rid of this level. Okay. And I'm kind of keyed on this one here just for this action for right now. Okay, sellers coming in. This is a nice little, there's buys and sell traps all over the place in here. Okay, yesterday, for example, we covered the squeezes. Well, we've been covering them for years, but like yesterday, was pretty trappy, it's a challenging market to trade in when it gets like that. The drivers aren't so clear. The market is just in some sort of single distribution or big range, bashing around. You'll see it go up above it, reject, come back in, go back below it, reject, and come back in. I'm kind of anticipating the same thing here today. So one of the things that we want to focus on today is some of the trap traders. Okay, so down below swings and then looking for traps. Okay, so so for example, maybe all of these sellers in here, they're going to be the buyers up into here. Okay, let's see if we reject though here at this 03. Okay, now where we want to see these sellers trapped is right here. We just went below it here. Okay, so look where the buyers are. Start to mark them up. Okay, so these are the buyers here and also here, clusters of buying. Okay, so where are they going to be sellers? They're going to be sellers in this whole area down here. And why this is important is because in an environment where we're not too sure, this is the price actions that's driving the market. It's these buyers and sellers just getting, bashed around. So if you're starting to put your pieces together looking for who is going to be reacting, then you can put more cohesive plan together if you want to trade those type of ranges and that kind of price action. Okay, so anyway, it's it's important to understand like what's driving it here, and in this case, this is a lot of that. These swings in here is the traps. Okay, and people getting stopped out. Okay, market's still going. Hit the 90 here. Hit that liquidity, traded it. We got a little bit of a bounce, and we got continuation. All right, now let's take a look at where this might go here. I mean, clearly, our higher time frame level is down here, or at least for today, the intraday. Okay, it's down here around the 75. There's a breakout here, though, and let's zoom in here just a little bit and start to understand these buyers in here. Okay, so where did they really start to come in and start to move the market? Well, our level's not bad in here. You can see that we get some in here, and then it kind of goes back and then some in here as well. Okay, so and why we're going to point to these buyers here is, are they going to defend price when it comes down here, or defend the level? Okay, and that's what we want to understand. All right, so let me get rid of this one here, and we'll remark these up. Okay, so yeah, I kind of like that, and I like this one as well. Okay, so our 68.90 and our 84.25, something like that. Now let's zoom back out, and let's take a look. Okay. All right, it's tricky. It's kind of tricky environment, like this choppy environment. But there's more sellers in here than there are buyers here. Okay, the buyers came back and pulled back to where that selling began here, and then we see more sellers coming back in again here. Okay, so if we can get sellers again, I'd look for them to drop price back down into the next level. Okay, so our 84.25, but let's see if they can get it down a bit further here at 75. Okay, now this is where we got to be really careful in this environment. It's the opposite as well. These sellers, they're going to be buyers up back to 03. See if there's any questions in here. Master Chief. Let's see. No, I'm not using, the only keyboard shortcuts I'm using is for the drawing tools. I can go over that for you, no problem. Okay, you want to look at the price change and volume pressure algos? Sure. That you've backtested exhaustion, okay, and you still find it hard to identify. Okay, well, exhaustion's a pretty easy one, I feel. It's the lack of aggressive buying or selling. That's it. Okay, so there's here, like for example here, and this isn't really the best example. Let's try up here into that price action. Okay, so in here, okay, now obviously this was data, right? But we want to go over an example. All right, so here, look at the buyers, moving price higher. They trade up into this high liquidity up here. Okay, right into it, boom. All right, now we go back and forth in here, a lot of back and forth. We get a little bit of buying in here. And let's take the heat map off because it has nothing to do with the heat map or the passive accumulation. It has everything to do with the aggressor and the lack of the aggressor. Okay, so here, for example, I don't see any buying. There's not going to be much. And look at these little points on the top here. Okay, these up here, there's no buying at all. Okay, and this is a lower high here, and I mean it's only by a few ticks, right? But this is a lower high, and there's no one buying here. Okay, so what that means is that up at this level in here, this exhaustion, this market here is exhausting out up here. We're not finding anyone willing to take it higher. Okay, so once we start to see the aggressive selling come back in, like here, okay, we're looking for bottom of the range, or it could be a reversal as well, right? And you know, put the pieces together, looking for that lack of trading up here. Now, one of the things that may help you as well is look at CVD. Okay, look for divergence in CVD. All right, and let's zoom in here so we put that in our range. Okay, so here's our buyers, and then all of this back and forth in here, we don't really get too much divergence at all. In fact, it's a little bit higher. So yeah, the divergence in here is not giving us much from CVD. Okay, the reason you can see why, in fact, like why we're not getting up here. Is because look at the buying and selling in here. It's pretty equal. I mean, you can look at the dots, the color of the dots, and you see how it's just, they're kind of equal across the range in here. You see lots of buying here, no selling, not much. You see some buying in here, you see selling, you see a spike of buying, a couple other spikes of buying, some selling, and then the sellers really come in here, okay? And they drive it away. All right, so this is something that I think with double tops, triple tops, this kind of stuff, look for your not your divergences, look for your exhaustion up in those areas. I think you'll find it really helpful. All right, so it's got to be a key level though, and then you know, look for that lack of aggressive buying or selling. Right. Okay. Let's go back to the current market and see what's unfolding. Okay, where did we leave off here? I know we left off here. This is a low volume pullback, selling, and then I was looking for the sellers to continue on down here. Uh, the and we do get aggressive selling in here as well. But this is where it's tricky, like in this kind of back and forth environment. But just go back and take a look here. We see the absorption in these areas in here. Okay, sellers can't take it down lower here. These are probably some icebergs in here. We can take a look at that. Yeah, we see some of the iceberg buying in here. All right, let's take CVD off. And then this is where the squeeze is on. Okay, see how the buyers take it back up above like this? Okay, above this little range in here. All right, the squeeze is on, and we can look for these sellers to be buyers up in here. Now, so we're looking for our big stop run, okay, back up into these areas, and I don't really see much of a stop run. Okay, so let's see if we get it now though. Okay, so very back and forth in here. I'm looking for a very quick spike up into 12 here. Okay, and I want to see a big stop run as well, maybe even 15. All right, let's see if the buyers have it here. I mean, if they just traded into 12. And they don't look too willing to trade back up above it yet. And do we get our big squeeze? Not really. Yeah. Okay, so now we're back up here. Now let's look at this area in here. Okay, these sellers trapped, and then our squeeze. Okay, there's our stop run. Okay, I'm still looking for more out of that though. I think we can hit this 15, maybe back up to 25. Okay, that previous swing here. When can we know to sell or buy? Buy new. I'm not sure I understand your question there. To buy new, or you're talking about entry maybe? Guys, these last few days, this week has been pretty tough, pretty choppy, and I find it tough. But like I said, you look for these traps driving the price action, and so who is, like, it's always a question when you go below some of these swings in here. Does it turn into a trap, or does it turn into a bigger move to the downside? And we have to kind of wait and watch, and if you want to trade that, or if you if you go through your scenarios and you have a setup for that, then take it. If you don't, then you sit on your hands and look for some sort of putting together a your setup on that. Okay, so identify those traps, identify that trap volume, and then where they're going to get squeezed. Okay, so the drawing tools, let's see here. And the shortcuts go up to settings, keyboard shortcuts, then toolbars here. I mean, everything you can see, you can put in your shortcuts wherever. And then here's the drawing tools here. And then these are my shortcuts I put in. I'm just using one letter as a shortcut. To add a letter here, we can do maybe for channel. We'll add a shortcut. So right click on the channel and we're going to put in CH. On a minute. Control. I'm going to do Control, or I don't know, maybe Alt C. Let's see if I get no conflicts there. Okay, so I'll do Alt C for a channel. Okay, great. All right, guys. All right, so here we go. Looking again for that squeeze here. The squeeze is on. These sellers here, they're trapped. Looking for the 20 and 25 we kind of outlined earlier. Again, not a trade recommendation, just looking for traps and how far we might go. Okay. Okay, look at this pullback all the way back to where we just broke out from. This too was a pretty deep pullback here, all the way back to where they bought here. Okay, so then yeah, let's take a look at this. What then, if that's the case, then what about a pullback to here where they bought? Okay, or maybe here. Okay, and then see a reaction. Okay, do we have liquidity at those areas? Not here. Okay, we have some down a little bit lower here at 05, 06. Let's turn on, there was the request for the market pulse price change and volume pressure. Okay, you see the little bit of buying that came back in here. And again, like this is how you can start to put your plan together, like on a choppy day. Okay, looking for the traps and looking for where it's going to be defended, where you might find buyers, and if you get a reaction, and then where they might go. Okay, where the trap is set, I would say the trap is here. Where they're going to flip out is probably going to be up here, maybe up in 220. Okay, and then looking for those buyers to drive it to those areas here and put the squeeze on. Okay, best to mark it up with liquidity. But in the trappy environment, I always kind of find it doesn't have to adhere to that. Okay, so just traded in some liquidity there. Still finding some buyers. Okay, now probably get a pullback maybe to where and see if they defend it here. Right, that's a potential scenario here. All right, let's zoom out. Let's take a break on this for a minute because we can really get into the nuances in here, and we want to avoid the confusion. Okay, we look at some of the bigger traps and what might be what the scenarios might be. But let's take a look here. Okay, this is our daily over here on the right, our hourly in the middle, and our 15-minute here on the I'm sorry, daily on the left, hourly in the middle, and then 15 on the right. Okay, so this was the previous high here for that data, up around this 24, 25, and some pretty good momentum here on the buy side at the hourly chart. And yeah, I like it. I like it. So yeah, I'm bullish until we're not on this, and looking for them to continue to trap some sellers, squeeze them, make higher highs, come back in, trap sellers, and squeeze higher. That's a potential scenario to go through. Okay, so yeah, so we're back up to our 20 level there, and looking for the squeeze now up into that 25. Now, 25. 24 and a half or 3/4, 25 up here. That's the high of the day here. Okay, so and there's a lot of liquidity up there. Okay, so we want to look for the target being up here, but beyond that, we don't know. Andy, let's see. Bookmap data is always a few seconds behind. Well, it's probably the. Are you looking on the YouTube here? The YouTube is delayed just a little bit. That might be what you're talking about, Andy. I'm not sure. All right, let's jump back over here. In England, your broker have to post trade stats. Too bad we will not. Okay, so what are you talking about, Pete? Repeat. So your broker has to report. What do they mean? Their trade stats. They have to. How many people they? I mean, we're not a broker, so I mean, the requirements are going to be different. And you're talking about U.S. brokers. I don't know. Well, I know in the Brazilian markets, for example, Pete, um, it's pretty cool. We see the CME, giving out the icebergs and the stops data. They go a step further in Brazil, and there's a bit more transparency. They will show like what broker it is. I think maybe this is what you're talking about. it's pretty cool to see that. And now you've got an ID tag of who it is. And yeah, that'd be fantastic to see. Okay, was it Andy or somebody here was talking about exhaustion? Now, there is exhaustion here, but be careful here because we have high liquidity back up above. We want to see the trade into this liquidity, and then we want to see the exhaustion after, right? We want to see the absorption first, right? We don't know how much buying pressure there is yet, right? I mean, there was some liquidity filled here. Okay, that's really not a whole lot though. Okay, this is clearly exhaustion, clearly, right? And we will probably see, if I turn on CVD, we probably will see some divergence here. Okay, so now the thing is though, and you can look for it. I would look for a small trade though, down to like 15. Okay, that would be it. And that's it. There's a bit more selling than there is buying in here. Okay, here, we'll just make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's see. Here's our divergence, right? So we know that because we can see some of the selling clusters in here, right? So we're looking for them to drive it back down to the liquidity or where those buyers stepped in here. Okay, so here, for example. All right, now, guys, this is I really recommend. This is something we do, and it's kind of started in the pilot program, but how do I word this? We go through many ideas in here, many concepts. There's so much. Bookmap is so visual, and there's so many different ways to trade. So I'm trying to go through as many different nuances in here during this webinar, so that not to confuse, but to maybe you pick something up from that, and then you can go into a deeper study with it. Okay, so for example, when there's many things to go through we've covered many things already. Okay, but let's just take this example here in this environment where the buyers are they're supporting price. Okay, because this is pretty consistent here. Now, this works for today, but go back and continue with your study to build out your own trading strategy. You will have to do this. Okay, no matter if you're studying someone else's trading strategy or building out your own. Okay, you have to do this. It's just required. If you don't, you will be trading someone else's strategy, and you won't know if you have an edge. Okay, this is vitally important. All right, so in a day like today, we kind of break out. We see the stop run. We hit some liquidity. We pull back. We go back to where the buyers are supporting it so far. Okay, so now here we go. Right now, this may just break down though. There's a lot of selling in here. Okay, I would look for the next level if we don't see a reaction in here. Okay, I'm looking for a reaction, and I'm looking for buyers back up above somewhere around here, around this 16.5. If I get buyers back up above here, I'm looking for them to take it back up to swing high, this liquidity here at around 21 or 25. Okay, that's scenario number one. Scenario number two is more selling continues. It goes down to the next level where we find some buyers. So this one's kind of tricky because there is kind of a level here that we can take across here, and maybe we'll find some buyers there. But the next one is really down here. Okay, and that one has already been tested, but let's see if they continue to support it. Okay, somewhere around here. Okay, all right. So these are the scenarios we're going through. All right, now scenario number one is our primary here. There's our buyers. Now let's see them lift it back up to 20 or 22 here, and then 25. Okay, so how do you get in? Well, you know, you'd get in somewhere around right in here around this 16. Where would your stop be? It would be right here at 15, and your target would be here at 20 and then 25. Okay, so it's up to you, right? On your if you want to hit a single in a day like today, hitting a single is probably a good idea, and just get out of the market. Okay, hit another single. All right. Again, this is not it's not a trading room in here. We're just going through these ideas and putting together these scenarios for you to build out your trading plan and trading edge. Okay, and these ideas in here. Is Trading His Life in here? Let's see. I don't know. Oh yeah, he's in here. Yeah, this is a kind of textbook here, right? And something that he does now. I don't think you'd be in this Trading His Life. You probably wouldn't be in this. It's just too choppy for you, and you're just going to sit on your hands. And if you do get in, is for that little dopamine rush, just to appease it, so then that you can go on with your day. I love that the other day. That was fantastic. Anyway, and it's not a serious trade, right? Now another way, why I brought him in to this is the trailing the stop. Okay, so you know, he's got a great method, and it's this. You would use the same method for placing your stop as well. Okay, so we went through this scenario before it unfolded, right? We went through two, the one to the downside and the one to the upside. We identified where we might look for a reaction, and we would look for liquidity, and where these buyers came in here earlier. Okay, so we put those two together, and then trailing your stop or your entry here. Okay, in fact, let me just mark it up this way, be easier. Okay, so that's a little too big. Okay, so entry in here. Okay, stop. It would be a little lower than that. I don't want to redraw it. It'd be a little lower than that, and then target. Okay, and then if you trail your stop though, okay, so entry is still the same, stop still the same, and then your target, maybe your overall target's up here. Okay, now once this breaks this level here, okay, and you can take some off here, like I said, if you have multiple contracts on, but you would, once it breaks this little area here, this area here, okay, you're trailing your stop up to here, okay, up to this here. Okay, now this is just a small example, and what happened here, you would have gotten stopped out. All right, so then you go back and readjust this for the day or for your trading plan or your trading setup here. In a day like today, you're expecting chop. So are you going to take the single, take the full in, full out method here, or are you going to trail it, or are you going to take some off and then trail your stop? It's up to you, right? But just put the scenarios together and the type of day that you're outlining, and then match the strategy for that day that you're outlining. All right. Hope that makes sense. All right, and then there was a request for the market pulse still, so I'm sorry about that. Let me put that on. I haven't looked at this in quite a while. Okay, here's the price change here. And as you can see, I'm just using the, I'm going to use the default settings here. And then the one I like is the volume pressure imbalance, right? Oops, sorry, let me try that again. Okay, volume, pressure, and balance, we got that one up. And then I need to create a new one. That shows up here. Here's price change. And let's select that one too. Okay. Since this is a good segue, actually, since we're going over the back testing or looking at drawing conclusions from certain price action, right? Okay, in fact, I'm just going to clear my drawings completely, guys. So we're going to start afresh here. Okay, and we're going to look at our market pulses in here. Okay, so yep, starting to hear the price change already at this level here. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Like I'm looking, this looks pretty good. A lower high, there's more selling in here. Do we have liquidity in here? Okay, where do the sellers come in? There's your pullback here. I'll try to draw this up really quickly. Pull back into here. Not yet, not yet. Okay, and then I would look for, since there's more selling in here, I'm looking for sellers down here, and the scenario is for them to break it and trade back down to, let's double check where buyers came in. Okay, both are pretty good in here. There's some in here did not move price much, but this one certainly did. Okay, so I would look for, if we get our sellers coming in, that's where I'd be looking for them to go. Okay, and we don't have a whole lot of buyers here supporting it, so I'm still, and we don't have liquidity here either. Okay, we got a little deeper pullback in here. And we see the buying coming back in. Okay, so, and then here's our potential trap buyers here. All right, so let's see if we get our sell cluster down here. And then we look for the break. Okay, and then we target our areas down below. Okay, there's some exhaustion here as well, a lower high and exhaustion. So everything's looking pretty good here. Okay, now we just have to look for these sellers to try to move that market into some of these areas. And let's turn off stops and icebergs so we can look at maybe our market pulse in the subchart. Okay, volume pressure. All right, we should hear it here. I'm looking for it to go below the 70 level here. Volume pressure is over here. I want to see it hit this little white line over here and see the move down into our liquidity at 10 and maybe 05. Okay, price change is starting to hit instead. Okay, volume pressure is not. All right, that's price change is still hitting. I want to see volume behind this move though. I got to see that volume behind it. Okay, now it's picking up. Right. So anyway, many different ways to use the price change in volume pressure imbalance. I would we went over Daniel Rui's content yesterday in the Bookmap Academy meeting, and what we went through in detail was you know, he uses a lot of the market pulse tools, and what we went through was aligning that with multiple factors in the order flow. Okay, so for example, did we really hit high liquidity here? Not really. We got the price change, went here. Okay, so now which one's hitting? Okay, volume pressure is hitting now. Okay, but we're not hitting it in the right area though. Okay, I don't like it. I want to see it hit down below here, and I want to see the follow through. Right? So that's pretty indicative of that choppy environment. This just gave us like a false positive here. Okay, so I would not be looking for anything in here. From this volume cluster here. If anything, it would be the squeeze here that we'd be looking for. Okay, but we just got a reading here, back up to the range here, over 70% on that volume pressure imbalance. Is this volume pressure imbalance or is it price change? Volume pressure. Okay. Another thing in here, let's go to the settings. I want to show a bit more here. Okay, so open it up here and load historical data. So you can just use this slider here. We can look at an hour of data. Okay, and this is where we kind of left off on some of these moves back and forth in here. And so we're going to continue with that back testing or building out your strategy and then looking for building your scenarios then at levels. Okay, great. All right, so now volume pressure is picking up here. We're kind of getting down to our level here. Okay, and this is where we want to see that volume pressure really pick up. And it is. Okay, so let's see them try to trade through that and back down into our, well, we had 10 here, but then we had our 06 or 07. But the liquidity is a little bit lower here at 05. Okay, so I would look for the move into the 05. Okay, price change picking up. You can see that in here. But we want to see this volume pressure pick up. Okay. Oh, you guys can in YouTube can hear this. That's right. You can't hear it over in Discord. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, I'm looking for now, both of these to align and get our swing down here. Okay, so our first level's been tested. There's still more pressure coming in. We can hear it, we can see it. So I'm still looking for them to try to drive it lower. Sellers should drive it down to 05. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. Now we just traded to the high liquidity. They're still selling. Okay, but now let's see if we get our pullback now. Okay, we got some extremes in here with the price or the volume pressure imbalance. And I'm looking for buyers just to pull it back here, maybe back to 10 here. Okay, this is where those sellers came in and dropped price. Okay. And this is where those buyers moved in here, or I'm sorry, it's went a little bit lower here, but yeah, it's kind of a zone in here. But you can see we went below this swing here, and Yeah, there's kind of a low volume node in here, I'm pretty sure. But we can show that. Oops. CVP, no, not really that low. But it's lower than other areas for sure. Okay, more selling. All right, now I'd be careful in here. Like, look for the potential trap of the sellers and buyers to come back in. But let's outline where these buyers, like we did earlier, where they came in. Where would they support this again? Where would they be buying again? And I see a nice one here. I mean, yeah, kind of. This is that 04 swing, but I like this one down here. Let's just put it there at 97.5 or so. All right, guys. Any questions on some of these things? I know we went through a lot. That's the goal, though, and to look at multiple facets here, multiple elements in the order flow, multiple strategies in here. If you're trading candlesticks, if you're trading fib levels, or if you're trading floor trader pivots, you still want to understand the order flow. If it's pattern trades, if it's volume profile or market profile, it doesn't matter. We want to add together understanding the behavior of the players in here with the passive orders, using limit orders from the order book, understanding those transactions with the aggressors, trading into those areas, and then what happens in those areas, okay, to give us that insight. All right, let's see here. Let me get caught up in the questions. The Brits banned from trading crypto altogether near COVID. Really? I didn't know that. So along with China, they did the same thing? Well, so I mean, you could still trade it, Dan, but not with a broker from the UK. Is that right? Okay, trading is life. All right, I got your. You were trading this down move. Got it. Nice. Malta, thank you. Yeah, I mean, guys, like, try to just keep it. What's important here is to take one element and go in and look at it and make some sense of it, and then move on to the next element. Now, this is exactly what we're doing in this pilot program. Okay, is we are starting with one trading strategy only. Okay, there's multiple elements in that strategy, so it's kind of complex, but you can break it down and just start to understand the first thing for a reversal is we want to understand passive accumulation, meaning these limit orders transacting and basically absorbing all of that buying pressure. And then we're looking for a host of other things, but just understanding that is really key because it's just the market mechanics, it's how things work. Someone has to take the other side of the trade. Well, look at it. Did they take it, and what was the reaction after? Okay, so for example, look at this one here. Okay, the reaction into this high liquidity here, a pullback, but it still continued. It traded up into this high liquidity, and then it pulled back again deeply. Then it pulled, then there was still more buying pressure though. And these are traps in here too. Like we were saying, you can see them, you know, the selling in here, the selling in here. They're going to be the buyers driving the price higher here. Okay, so in this trappy environment, right? Understand that. Anyway, and understand like where these buyers came in, where these sellers came in, and where they might support it. Okay, so we saw some good stuff on the way up here for those pullbacks. And then you start to align it with liquidity and some of the buying starting to step back in and put together a small strategy for yourself, or build out the scenarios and then look for your setup, your strategy. Okay, here we go again, more selling. All right, so we're getting down into this level here that we just marked up. Now, I just don't see much liquidity there though. Okay, so maybe the aggressors will come in, but I don't see any limit orders down here, not much. They're down here at 68.90. Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up. We'll call it a day. I'll call it a week. Thanks for coming, everybody. We will catch up with you on Monday and do it again. And ask some questions in here, what you'd like me to cover, especially over in that pilot program and you newbies. I want your feedback so we can go through it in here in real time. And that should be really helpful for you. Okay. Yeah. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up on Monday. Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.